You're looking at Shannon, his brand has never really been anything that said he might not be into some of the things that we're learning.
You can smell that this is for record. You can smell that this, if you want to go there, is for the setup. This is for the shakedown. Or you can say, oh, no, she's just being explicit and she's just being open, and that's their relationship. But this is where I'm like, oh, man.
Shannon Sharpe is caught slipping big time out here, and Ryan Clark is making sure everyone knows about it. Ryan just went off, straight up calling out Shannon for his shady behavior around women that's apparently been low-key going on forever. Ryan didn't exactly come out saying Shannon did what he's accused of in this lawsuit, but he made it crystal clear Shannon's had a sketchy rep for a minute now. And Shannon, he was flipping out over what Ryan said. But guess what? He can't do much but yell at this point, because folks are whispering that he's still desperately begging Gabby behind the scenes to settle privately and sweep this drama under the rug. Honestly, from the looks of things, Shannon might be done out here for real this time.
No man wants to be associated with those things that's not his intent and that's not his heart. And so my biggest thing for him is, if these aren't actions that are of him, I hope that he's cleared of them.
Right.
And then for the young lady, if these are things that has happened to her, you hope that she's able to process that and in some way feel like she has been not only compensated, but that she has sought and found the justice that she's looking for. But it's like you said, period. It's just a bad look. Whether it's the text messages, whether it's the voice messages, whatever it is, it's a bad look.
The situation is messy as it gets. Seriously, if anyone said a year ago Shannon Sharpe would be drowning in allegations like these by 2025, they'd tell you straight up you're out of your mind. But look where we're at now, and it ain't looking good. While the rest of the world might be shocked, Ryan Clark saw this coming a mile away. Matter of fact, Ryan basically said Shannon catching lawsuits like this ain't surprising at all, calling it totally on brand, because Shannon's known around town for acting real weird with women. Ryan Clark wasn't playing when he brought up those leaked texts and audio clips from Shannon's messy lawsuit. Most folks already saw those cringe-worthy texts, and let's be real, they're next level disturbing. Just listen to this craziness. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me. Or how about, I know you missed this, big juicy behind, $25,000 for each cheek. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. And hold up, it gets worse. I want to put my tongue in your hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. I want you to put a big black baby in me. Then the cherry on top, you better crave it, because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Honestly, if two hormone-driven college kids were saying stuff like this, it'd still be wild. But knowing this is a grown man talking like this to a 19-year-old, straight up embarrassing, like seriously, $25,000 for each cheek? And what's with the creepy obsession about putting a big black baby in me? Somebody please help this situation. And here's the kicker. Shannon's own lawyer leaked these texts thinking it would somehow prove Gabby was the one chasing Shannon down, asking for all this wild stuff. All that lawyer stunt really did was expose Shannon as a creepy old dude still thinking he's edgy by chasing off models and obsessing over corn stars. Definitely not the move. And those leaked recordings going around lately, way worse than those wild texts. You literally hear Shannon threatening this young girl. She straight up sounds terrified the whole time. Absolutely disgusting.
A lot of times people just are who they are. And you're looking at Shannon, his brand has never really been anything that said he might not be into some of the things that we're learning, right? You could go back to the IG Live, or you could listen to some of the things that he promotes as sponsors of his show, or just certain ways he talks about women during nightcap or whatever it is, right? Like, okay, never hid that. And that's not illegal.
And Ryan Clark didn't stop there. Nah, he went deeper, bringing up Shannon's past issues with women and the shady way he talks about ladies on his shows. Anyone who's watched Shannon knows exactly what Ryan's talking about. There's always been something sketchy about how Shannon discusses women, especially black women. Sure, that kind of trash talk might get a couple laughs in a locker room packed with sweaty pro athletes, but outside of that bubble, it just makes Shannon look creepy and disrespectful as heck. It paints Shannon as exactly the type of guy you'd expect to end up in relationships where women get treated badly. People even started pulling receipts on Shannon, digging up an old shady tweet he posted aimed directly at black women. He literally tweeted, "Why are you on my page? Don't you have another horse to rob of his hair? Stop trying to kill my vibe." And get this, he wrote that nasty comment in response to someone calling him out for ignoring disrespect towards black female WNBA players while openly supporting Caitlin Clark. Looking back, it was obvious Shannon was showing exactly who he was all along, but folks just didn't pay enough attention. But hold up, because that's not even the worst dirt people have dug up from his past. Apparently, this isn't Shannon's first run-in involving accusations about mistreating women. People started digging deep and discovered a disturbing incident from when Shannon was co-hosting FS1's show Undisputed. According to insiders, Shannon was accused of choking a female production assistant at work. One source revealed that Shannon and Fox quickly settled with the woman for several $100,000, quietly sweeping it under the rug, so no lawsuit was ever officially filed. Even shadier, another insider said Shannon's team worked overtime with Fox's legal crew to bury the whole thing, terrified of the massive backlash they'd face if it leaked. But the minute Shannon's latest scandal started blowing up online, people found out anyway, and Shannon's team was forced to speak on it publicly. Now they're claiming there was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the S1 set, but that denial has people raising eyebrows even higher. One time, Shannon and a few colleagues got into some kind of playful physical altercation, and Fox Sports quietly swept it under the rug.
For him to offer $10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no $10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason that $10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the $10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right?
But trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Things took a darker turn when Shannon's ex, Michelle, also stepped up and filed her own lawsuit against him. And here's the kicker. Her lawsuit looks almost exactly like the one Gabby just dropped on Shannon. Michelle filed her lawsuit back in 2023, saying she and Shannon were together for around 10 years before things went sideways. Apparently, in September 2010, Michelle discovered Shannon was cheating on her, and when she confronted him, Shannon allegedly flipped out on her big time. Anyone familiar with Gabby's lawsuit against Shannon is seeing the alarming similarities with Michelle's claims, and it's giving people chills. Gabby alleged that things took a dark turn after she tried to break up with Shannon last October, especially after he went live on Instagram while in bed with another woman. According to her, what followed was emotional manipulation and disturbing behavior that left her completely shattered. She claimed Shannon lashed out, saying things like, "You've disrespected me so much. I'm gonna make sure no man ever wants you again," and then forced himself on her in a way that left her crying uncontrollably. The whole situation was heartbreaking and disturbing to read, and it painted a really unsettling picture. Michelle's account added more layers to the story. She said after their split, Shannon didn't just walk away, he allegedly turned aggressive. According to her, he started threatening her and stalking her, saying he'd ruin her life if she ever spoke up. He'd blow up her phone constantly, reminding her that he was always watching. It got so intense that Michelle reportedly feared for her safety and filed for a restraining order. And when Shannon later broke up with her and started trashing her name, she hit back legally again, this time with a defamation lawsuit. Shannon didn't hold back when it came to trolling Michelle. He dragged her on his platform, cracked jokes at her expense, and stood by while his fan base tore into her online, calling her names, mocking her, and basically letting the internet mob loose on her. When Michelle's lawsuit started making waves again, Shannon's team jumped in fast with a fiery statement. They came at her hard, saying she was just jumping on the Shannon hate train, hoping for a payout. They dismissed the lawsuit as old news, called her claims fanciful exaggerations, and straight up accused her of twisting facts. Shannon's camp insisted the accusations were completely without merit and said he's ready to fight back against what they called malicious lies. But Michelle's not backing down. Not even close. She's saying that Shannon is pulling the exact same moves on Gabby that he used on her back then. And one major red flag, Michelle pointed out how Shannon deliberately exposed Gabby's OnlyFans info, even though it had nothing to do with the actual lawsuit. According to Michelle, that was no accident. She said it was a calculated hit to take the spotlight off the allegations and throw dirt on Gabby's image instead. Michelle didn't hold back, saying, "I want people to understand what Shannon did to this woman by doxing her, by putting out her name, by putting out her of account. That was horrifying, because things are going to happen to her because of that. I still get it to this day." Michelle's made it clear she's been through it, and she sees the same cycle repeating. Meanwhile, Shannon keeps pushing the idea that this is all one big setup. He's out here claiming it's a shakedown and swearing he didn't do anything illegal to Gabby. Shannon's lawyer didn't waste any time firing back. They dropped a bold statement calling Gabby Zuniga's lawsuit, put together by attorney Tony Busby, nothing more than a blatant and cynical attempt to snatch millions from Shannon. The statement claimed the lawsuit was loaded with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and made it clear they weren't backing down. The legal team said Shannon categorically denies every accusation of coercion or misconduct, especially what they called the gross lie of assault, and that he won't cave to what they described as straight-up blackmail. According to them, Shannon's all about the truth and plans to fight this in court to the end, ready to be cleared through due process and a legal ruling based on facts. But here's where it gets real shady. Turns out Shannon had already been trying to settle this quietly behind the scenes for months before Gabby even filed the lawsuit. Word is, they were in mediation for a while, and Shannon allegedly offered Gabby a whopping $10 million to make it all go away. That offer alone made people do a double take. Because seriously, who just hands out $10 million if they're totally innocent? It raised a lot of eyebrows and made Shannon look way too eager to keep things quiet. Now that the public knows about the payout offer, folks are side-eyeing the whole thing hard. Like, if you didn't do anything wrong, what are you so desperate to hide? Even some of Shannon's own supporters started dragging him, saying that move was a big mistake. They're saying now Gabby knows just how far Shannon's willing to go to keep this drama out the spotlight. So when Gabby made it clear she wasn't settling, Shannon allegedly went full damage control. Fast, he started flipping the script, making it seem like he was the victim of some setup. And the wild part? That spin is actually working, because now everybody's talking about how he's the one being played. Even Marcellus Wiley jumped in and shared his take on the whole mess, and what he said raised a lot of eyebrows. According to Marcellus, the timing looks real suspicious. He pointed out that Gabby's lawsuit was filed just 2 days after news dropped.
So we all know about the report of $100 million deal for Shannon Sharpe and his king empire of Shay Media. Duh, made a ton of sense. But now as I look back on it, that $100 million deal was reported. And did she know that that deal was happening, or she didn't know? Because on Friday, it was reported, and on Sunday, she filed. Now, I could get a work week, Monday through Friday, but then you're going to file on a Sunday? What happened between Friday and Sunday?
That Shannon was about to land a massive payday? If you missed it, Shannon was reportedly in talks to sign a $100 million deal after wrapping up his contract with Colin Cowherd's The Volume Podcast Network. Shannon's podcast numbers are through the roof, so it's no surprise every major media company was throwing offers at him. Let's not forget, his interview with Cat Williams alone nearly hit 90 million views. That's superstar level engagement. So just as whispers of that 9-figure deal started making rounds, boom, lawsuit. The timing had people scratching their heads, but Marcellus didn't stop there. He even suggested that Shannon or someone close to him might have leaked the deal news on purpose. Why? To feed this whole shakedown narrative and make Gabby look like she's just trying to cash in while Shannon's bag is blowing up. Word on the street is Shannon might have dropped that $100 million deal news on purpose. The theory? He leaked it right before Gabby filed her lawsuit so that people would stop paying attention to what she accused him of and instead start whispering she's just after the bag. But no matter how much PR spin he tries to throw out there, insiders say Shannon is struggling bad behind the scenes. ESPN has already pulled him off the air, and word is they might not bring him back, even if the drama dies down. And that's not all. There's talk that Disney, the parent company, is trying to quietly distance themselves from Shannon. They're not trying to risk their brand or stock price by standing next to a guy who's turning into a full-on PR headache. As if that wasn't messy enough, new rumors say Shannon has circled back to Gabby's camp, trying to reopen talks for an out-of-court settlement, even after blasting her publicly and calling the whole thing fake. Sounds like someone realized it's way riskier to fight this in court than to cut a check and keep it quiet. So now the question is Shannon cooked? Or can he somehow walk away from this with his rep still breathing? Let us know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell so you never miss the next messy drop.